Hey folks, welcome back to the Sedgwick Jimmy channel. We're certainly glad to see you, and today we're taking a look at Prester John, or Prester John, the mythical king from the Middle Ages. Where did the legends of this monarch and his kingdom come from? Well, that's what we're here to talk about, so let's just get into it. The origins of the myths are traced by many to two different apostles, John and Thomas. John, also known as Saint John, and John the Presbyter, mostly only loaned his name. Fun fact, presbyter simply means elder and was used as a church title. We get the word priest from it. It was mostly Thomas that served as inspiration for the king, or at least the kingdom. Thomas, or St. Thomas, traveled as far as India to preach the teachings of Christianity and created a community of St. Thomas Christians that still exists. Stories of this sect, as well as the, we'll call it, exoticness of India, caused imaginations to abound of a far Christian kingdom. The exact location of Prester John's kingdom were always vague, but it was far away and typically to the east. India was the original thought location, though this changed after stories of a Prester John conquering Persia and leading an army to the Holy Land. This was partially right, except it was Genghis Khan and the Mongols that had conquered Persia, and they had no immediate interest in Jerusalem. And that's where the legend starts to get kinda murky. Some say that Prester John was the father of Genghis, others a vanquished foe who had refused to marry his daughter to the Mongol. Even Marco Polo brought back stories of a Christian kingdom in the Far East. There was a real man, Togrul, who was Genghis's foster father and was defeated after refusing to wed his children to Genghis's family. So that was true, but Prester John he was not. It was also around this time that legends place his kingdom in modern-day Russia. So, once India and Asia had been ruled out as locations, eyes turned to Africa, and more specifically the Kingdom of Ethiopia. Europeans even referred to the King of Ethiopia as Prester John. Though it had been a strong Christian kingdom in mostly Islamic lands, it wasn't the home of Prester John, though oddly enough, it may be the home of the Ark of the Covenant. A quick side note here, it's believed by many that the Queen of Sheba actually left the court of Solomon with the Ark of the Covenant and took it to Ethiopia, and there's a highly guarded church there where it supposedly still sits. Sorry, just thought I'd add that. Anyway, back to the story. These beliefs did, strangely enough, strengthen the ties between Europe and Africa and allowed for aid against the ever-encroaching caliphates. The kingdom of Prester John, aside from being a strong, mystical Christian kingdom in a far land known for savagery and paganism, as well as a source of hope for a Christian Europe that saw the growing power of Islam, was said to hold many great wonders. The king himself was thought to have been a great leader, a virtuous and generous man whose lineage could be traced back to the Magi, or the three wise men in the manger scene. The Garden of Eden was said to border his lands, with the Gates of Alexander and the Fountain of Youth said to reside within. Eventually, with exploration and the world becoming smaller, the stories and legends fell away into history, leaving us only with fanciful accounts of a grand monarch and his fabled kingdom. And that's just gonna about do it for a quick look at the kingdom and myths of Prester John. And if you liked it, why don't you give us a like? If you want to see more, give us a subscribe. If you have anything to add or any ideas for future episodes, why don't you head on down in the comments and let us know. We appreciate you watching, we appreciate you being here, and we hope to see you here again in the future for more Sedgwick Jimmy. Come check it out.